So I rewrite the claim, so I know which one the claim is, in symbol. So, he is claiming proportion values. What's the population proportion value? P hat is for the symbol, just P. P is over 39%. Greater than 0.39. Is the claim the ho or the ha? The ha. What's that? Okay. So what does that make the ho then? Less than or equal to. So notice the claim isn't always the ho and it isn't always the ha. It can be either one. The first two, the claim was the ho. This one, the claim was the ha. So there's no steadfast rule there what the claim has to be, the ho or the ha. Are you good at writing the pair of hypotheses? Okay, if you stay with this, each section is going to be very easy. But there's just a lot to the whole process, so we take it step by step here. Okay, turn my page. I don't know. Well, yeah, because I got 2 days here. Quite a bit. Where are we at? What are we on? Not even 9:30. We just got started. Okay. Types of error. Wednesday? Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was Wednesday today, so I haven't taken it.
Okay, when we actually get to the hypothesis test, we will always test the ho. So the biggest confusion is, oh, I got to test the claim. No, we always test the ho. Sometimes the ho is the claim, sometimes it's not. But we will always test the ho. And
Never test the ha?
nope. That's why it says always here. I don't know what always means to you, but
Well, you could test the ho.
no. Always test the ho.
Got it.
Okay, so at the end, when we do the test, there's 2 decisions you're going to make. 2 possible decisions. You will either reject the ho, this is life lesson for you, reject the ho, or what do you think it is? Yeah, never accept the ho. No, no, no. Never. The other one is fail to reject the ho. We're going to think about that for a minute. Fail to reject the ho.
What's the difference between failing?
Exactly. That's what I said we got to think about. What's the difference between failing to reject the ho and accepting the ho?
You ignore the whole.
You could just ignore. You're ignoring. You're not accepting, you're ignoring. So, fail to reject the ho does not mean you automatically accept the ho. Okay, so I never want to see at the end of hypothesis that accept the ho. That'll be wrong every single time. So, alright. After we make our decision, because this whole section was labeled types of error, a type 1 error, make this number 1 here, a type 1, Roman numeral I, error.
Can I get something?
Yeah. Okay, so if you didn't get a good sample, a nice random sample, you have biased data, you might come up with the wrong decision here, and that leads to error. A type 1 error occurs if the ho is rejected when it actually was true. and a type 2 error occurs, if the whole is not rejected when it actually was false. So, at the end, how do you know if you made a type 1 or a type 2 error? You wouldn't know unless somebody redid the study, got like a bigger sample, and then disproved your result. So when you make your decision, you just say, okay, I'm good to go, I know I had a pretty good sample, and blah, blah, blah. So you would not know these exist unless someone went over and beyond and did the study again. Okay? So the next example is just going to be describing what a type 1 and type 2 error is. And it's basically, they're just definition answers. So let's try an example there so you know what's going on. Find something I can write on here. Why don't I throw this stuff away if I'm ready? Here. Well, this one's a good one. Okay. Describe a type 1 and type 2 error. Okay. Here's the claim that's being made in words. A company specializing in parachute assembly, think about this, a parachute assembly, claims that its main parachute failure rate is not more than 1%. Okay, well, the fact that they have failure rate kind of bothers me. But so the claim is that the main parachute failure rate is not more than 1%. Okay, before you can describe a type 1 and type 2, you need to know what the symbols are in there. So we're going to write a pair of hypotheses, and then we'll describe type 1 and type 2. So, the claim in symbols then. Okay, what statistic is this claim about? Means, proportions, variances, or standard deviations? Proportions, a percentage, it's a proportion. So the percentage of failures is no more than, what's no more than? Less than or equal to 1%. Making their claim the host. So then the ha is that the main parachute failure rate is actually over 1%. Did I make that? What do you mean make them up? Your claim, you mean?
No, like,
Oh, I made that up, yeah.
okay.
Totally made this. Null. Null hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis. What's more fun? Null, alternative, whole ha.
Oh, ha.
Whole ha. It's quicker too. Null, alternative. Maybe I should say it once in a while just so you don't forget. Yeah.
Let's do the one. No.
I don't go to college, I'm gonna use this.
Yeah. Yeah. You go to college, say ho and ha. Well, then some books, maybe it's been a problem, because some books use H1 and H0. Instead of whole, and the O and the A, they use 1 and 0. So, yeah. Whole and ha. Null alternative. I totally made those up. Okay? All right. That's good. Good judgment on your part. Okay. Describing a type 1 error. Okay. Type 1 error. Yeah, not even being recorded. Not even good.
Sit down and check it or something.
Yeah. Mom, listen to what she said today. Anybody throws me under the bus, fail. Just kidding. Backing it up here.
Why are you feeling sad?
Yeah.
With the shorts under the bus?
Okay, type 1 error. It's all definition based. So, all we're doing is describing. A type 1 error occurs if the whole is rejected when it actually was true. So, instead of saying whole, we're going to say what it actually is. So we're going to say a type 1 error would be, I rejected so in place of the whole, what is the whole?
No.
The percentage is less than or equal to 1%. I rejected that when it actually was true.
This is like a part of the problem? or-
Yeah, this is the answer to the question. The question said describe a type 1 and type 2 error. Now I'm describing them. So a type 1 error would be, after I did my whole study, this was my conclusion. I rejected this, basically rejecting their claim, when it actually was true. When it
I feel like I wouldn't want to be the person to test this.
was true. The percentage actually is less than or equal to 1%. Okay? Now it says describe a type 2 error. So a type 2 error would be what did I do on a type 2 error based on the definition? Kayla, what did I tell you?
Oh.
Never accept the whole. I failed to reject. I didn't have enough evidence to reject it. I failed to reject that P is less than or equal to 1% when it actually was false
Is there any math in this chapter?
There will be. Yeah, not this first section. This first section's all the background to hypothesis testing. So today and tomorrow, it's 2 days worth. Okay, so I failed to reject that the percentage was less than or equal to 1% when it actually was false, which made P greater than 1% true. Does that make sense? Read it for a second and see if that makes sense to you. And now my question is, which one's a more serious error?
Yeah, we should reject the whole.
A type 1 or a type 2 error is more serious? Think about the parachute failure rate. Yep.
2.
Type 2 definitely was the more serious of the 2 errors.
More desperate.
Yes, because their main parachute failure rate is over 1%. Wouldn't you want to know that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
Yeah. This is the one that's more serious. This one, I rejected it, but it actually was true. So it truly was under 1%. So that's okay, but this one here, I didn't reject it,